Well, I don't know who that guy he was just talking about was, but I'm happy to be here to see this day. And very honored to be here with my fellow veterans, family members, and friends that are behind me. I'm the oldest of 6 children who began here at West Valley in 1963, and through my family, there was a merit here for 18 straight years. And there's no administration and there's no faculty left from that era. I think that's partly because they had to deal with us. But anyway, so my sister Joyce followed me, and followed by my brothers Keith, Bob, Doug, and Mark. And they're all here today, and I'm grateful to be that. And my oldest granddaughter, Giovanna, attends here now. She's a senior. And next year, her brother will come to West Valley. Catcher merit will be here, so we have another stretch of merits being here at West Valley. But I have to say that I believe we looked at it, we've talked about it over the years, that many significant foundation stones for our life were laid here at West Valley. For that, we're grateful to the faculty, to the administration, and the way that West Valley High School has functioned over all these years. On November 8th, which was yesterday, 1963, 60 years ago yesterday, I was in this assembly. It was in another building, but it was the Veterans Day Assembly in my sophomore year. I don't know who spoke. I don't know what they talked about, but I came away with an impression that's never left me. And that impression was that I live in a free land, and that land being free, somebody had to pay the price. And the veterans that were around then were the ones who had done it. And for that, I'm grateful. I have been grateful on my whole, all my life. Veterans Day is a special day. We honor those that are living. Memorial Day, we honor those who have given their lives and sacrificed. Veterans Day is for the living. So we honor all the vets who are here today. Where I live in South Florida, we have a museum that is the beginning of where the Navy SEALs started. And months ago, I went to with one of my grandkids, and I walked in, and the guy that was greeting me was obviously a Vietnam vet. And I greeted him and said, "What did you do?" And he said, "Well, I was in the Marines." "Okay, that's great." And he said, "I was what you call a long-range recon patrol alert, which is probably the most dangerous job that was in the United States Marine Corps in Vietnam, had the highest mortality rate. So anybody who said they were one was a real hero." So that's what I said to him. "Man, you are my hero." And he said, I'm not your hero. He goes, "You want to know what a hero is?" "All I did was I answered the call of my country, and I did what they told me to do, and that was to be alert." He goes, "My hero was the guy at Camp Pendleton who sat at a desk and wrote the paycheck that took care of my wife and my kid while I was in Vietnam, so I didn't have to worry about it." That guy was and is my hero because he did the same exact thing I did. His country called him, and he did what his country asked him to do. So, today, we're sitting in the midst of a bunch of heroes, all right? So I want to honor them today. They did what they were asked to do. The country called them, and they came and they served, and they did what their country asked them to do. And so I want to just take a moment, and I want to introduce the heroes that are in this room who served in the U.S. Coast Guard. If you were in the Coast Guard, would you stand? Would you all remember the flag? Anybody in the Merchant Marines? Do we have anybody that served in the Merchant Marines? All right. That's the Navy. Where's the sailors? How about the U.S. Army? Next round, guys, is now the Marine Corps. U.S. Marine Corps. U.S. Air Force. I don't know, just look around the room. Did you see the different groups that stood up? And there might have been something that stood out about one branch of the service over the other. Maybe not to you, but it did to a certain reporter who was curious about what kind of person would join which branch of the service. So he got himself a soldier, a Marine, a Navy guy, an Air Force guy. Sorry, Coast Guard, you got left out. But anyway, for the sake of the story, and he sat him down at the table, and he said, I want you to tell me, I'm going to give you a scenario, I want you to tell me how you solve this, kind of give me an idea about what kind of guys are in that branch of the service. Here's the scenario. You're sitting in your tent, on your cot, and the biggest cockroach you ever saw comes out of underneath the bed and starts heading toward you. What would you do? He turned to the Navy guy and said, what would you do? The Navy guy said, man, I'd pick up a book or a shoe or something, and I'd pick that thing and kill it. Okay, soldier, Army guy, what would you do? He said, I'd stand up and just step on that thing and kill it. Thank you very much. Marine, what would you do? I'd stand up, he said, I'd grind that thing in with my heel and grind it until there was nothing left of it. Okay. Air Force guy, what would you do? And the Air Force guy thought for a minute and said, what's a tent? See, everybody down here gets it, right? If you're overseas, you need to get it better than this. It just seems like the Air Force. Where I live in Florida, most guys say I was in the chair force, because that's how we were pictured. Anyway, so I've been asked to being in the Air Force. I get away with that. I want to harken back to 1963, sitting here in this. It wasn't this room, but in this assembly, and my whole class was there. My whole sophomore class was there, and some things similar to today were going on. There were rumblings of war somewhere else in the world, but they weren't here, and so we weren't worried about it. And we sat through the ceremony, and not knowing that within a couple of years, 9 of our classmates' lives and potential would have been snuffed out in a war overseas. Looking back, it should have been very sober. We didn't know it. We thought we were going to live on forever. Some of us haven't lived this long, but 9 of us didn't. And I was just, some of the names, of all the names we put up there, but in order of who gave their life, 3 classes, 1964 through 67, were affected by the Vietnam War. So I just want to recognize that might be family. Some of the guys sitting here might know these names, but Rodney Weed, class of 64, he died in 1967. Don Patterson, class of 66, died in 67. Rich Gator, who was a Marine, all the rest of these guys were in the Army. Rich was a Marine, and he died in 67. Tom Purcell, class of 66, he died in 1968. Russell Butler, class of 66, died in 1968. Jerry Snyder, class of 1965, died in 1968. Steve Moore, class of 66, died in 1968. Steve Owens, class unknown, but he died in 1969. And Doug Jones, in the class of 67, died in 1970. So 1968 was a tough year. I went to 5 funerals and pallbearer 2 of them, all from my classmates. And I just wanted to honor their name. This was an opportunity that I had to be here, great opportunity to speak here, to know that their names were on the wall out there in the school. I recognize that and honor that. But now I want to take 2 minutes and just give a thumbnail sketch. I've been asked to give a thumbnail sketch of the Vietnam War because most of the wagers have heard about it. Most of us down here lived around it or in it or through it. And so there's many different views, many different opinions, so you get mine right now. The Vietnam conflict actually goes back into the mid-1800s, but we picked up in 1954. The French had colonized that part of the country. The Viet Cong, the communist forces from North Vietnam, came and drove the French out. So the United States responded because we were in a Cold War with the Soviet Union, and there was concern that the Soviets would take over that part of the country. And so we began slowly to give supplies to the South Vietnamese Army and send troops to train them and try and help make them be able to defend themselves. We did that all the way up until 1963 and 64. It was just a slow, methodical build-up, and it wasn't until August of 1964 that North Vietnamese perpetrated an aggressive attack against an American ship in the Gulf of Tonkin. So the President of the United States got Congress to give him a declaration, which is called the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which gave him the authority to use anything in armed forces or anything at his disposal to combat armed aggression. And that was August of 1964. Congress never passed a bill to actually declare war, but we call it the Vietnam War. So that's the beginning of the war, and that began a campaign of the United States and South Vietnam fighting against the Viet Cong, which were South Vietnamese sympathizers to North Vietnam, and then North Vietnam had their own soldiers coming into the country. So into 1965, we had our first major battle with the United States Marines. Early in the year, later in November, we had one of the most famous battles we had, the Battle of the Hai Trang Valley, which was where the first time that U.S. troops were taken on the battlefield, taken off the battlefield by helicopter. The United States won that battle. It was a decisive battle, but it wasn't enough to win the war. And in 1966, by the time I graduated high school, we had 400,000 troops in Vietnam. And we're still 1967, the president added another 100,000, bringing 500 million American soldiers, men and women, in Vietnam. And beginning in 1967, the war became very unpopular. Large demonstrations, anti-war demonstrations, broke out in big cities, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Washington, D.C. And the guerrilla forces of the North Vietnam Army got more and more aggressive, leading up to 1968. In 1968 was a turning point for a couple of different things. First of all, the North Vietnamese had spent time making it look like they were going to attack, a large-scale attack across the border from North Vietnam to South Vietnam. So the U.S. military moved a lot of resources up to the border to defend that. It was a ruse, it was a trick. What they did was they infiltrated 100 cities down through the south with guerrillas and embedded them. And on Chinese New Year's Day, which was January 30th of 1968, instead of coming across the border, they surprise attacked and killed a lot of soldiers and civilians in these towns, and even they had a surprise attack on an embassy in the U.S. Embassy in Saigon. They attacked Hanoi, they attacked, not Hanoi, Saigon in another big way. The ugliness and the brutality, and then the perceived ineptness of the U.S. military caused the anti-war movement in the United States to increase in its intensity. And it became very bitter and very ugly and very divisive, from Congress all the way down to us common people. So, beginning in 1969, though, the government started trying to negotiate with North Vietnam to bring an end to the war. And so we began a scale-down program in 1969, and we had 549,000 troops to 1972, and we reduced it all the way down to 69,000 troops. In 1970, the U.S. got into serious negotiations, and our military strategies got more aggressive. We started bombing more. We bombed low planes, got more precise with their bombing. And in 1972, the president even lowered it more. And the two places that had been off limits, which was the capital city of Hanoi and the large harbor of Haiphong, were no longer off limits. And as soon as we started bombing those two cities, North Vietnamese said, hey, let's go to the peace table, let's talk. And so things got warmed up, and we started working towards an accord, which we sat down at the table, called the Paris Peace Accord, and on January 1973, we signed a pact with North Vietnam, withdrew all of our troops, and North Vietnam agreed to a ceasefire. So 2 months later, we had the joyous opportunity to have 591 prisoners of war return. And along with their return came a sense of relief to the country in general. And people thought that things were going to begin to be okay. However, the Vietnamese had never stopped planning on taking over South Vietnam. So 2 years after the Second Report, they crossed the border and they knocked out South Vietnamese who hadn't developed enough defense. That results, and this day, there's one country in Vietnam, the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. And that's kind of how the story is there. The war cost us a lot. We had 58,220 casualties. Every one of those names are on the Vietnam Memorial Wall, Washington, D.C. And I was there last month, and I made a rug for all the names that we saw on your wall out there. I used to give the colonel an actual emblem of those guys naming on the Vietnam. It's all about that on the Vietnam Wall. The North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong lost approximately 1.1 million soldiers, and the South Vietnamese lost 250,000. Now, this is unplugging myself in the story here. I'm somebody from the colonel. I went to the Air Force after my school, and I picked up the Admiral Mountain College. I was able to get into intelligence. It was part of a very unique way of running an airborne, kind of USO was running information from North Vietnamese protection. And I never figured it out, and we nominated the airborne. It was an interesting time for me. As a person, I didn't realize until I got out and looked back at it. There were only 2 people in the whole United States military who did my job. And that was me and my partner, Klaus. And I feel like we made a great contribution to the war effort. What we did helped war come to an end. And so I was good about my service. And I really can't say I made a difference. So coming home, though, Christmas of 1972, just before the peace accord was signed, greeted in San Francisco by a crowd of very angry, ugly African people who threw red paint, rotten tomatoes, cursed, spat, called me baby killer. And I had to walk about from here to the bandages through the cordon of that building. And so that was what most Vietnam vets came home to. And I experienced that myself. I walked through that, walked into the terminal at San Francisco Airport, walked into the bathroom, took my uniform off, and I threw it away. And I said, if that's how the United States is going to treat me, then forget it. I'm out of it. And I was angry, and I was bitter, and I was rebellious. It didn't make sense. There's all these people who made this contribution. We didn't treat it like we did something wrong. All we did was answer our country's call. So, anyway, we'll have just a little bit of time. And I'm dealing with this, and I know that lots of other people are. And at that point in my life, there was an intervention. God intervened in my life. He reached down, and he promised me that he would take that away. All I had to do was believe in his son, Jesus Christ. He would take away that anger, and he replaced it with peace. So I surrendered my life to him. He kept his part of the promise. And he took away the anger, he took away the bitterness, he took away the rebellion that I had, and that's never come back since. And I feel love, same anger, truly that pain. And so I don't know if I spend this time telling that story, but anyway, as I moved on, and I realized there's tens of thousands of men and women around who still have that bitterness, who still have that hurt. And so I got involved with this group called Honor Flight. It's a national group, and we take veterans, whatever region we're in, South Florida, where I live, and we take 80 veterans at a time, and fly them to Washington, D.C., and spend the whole day taking to all the memorials and giving them honor there, and then we bring them back. They don't know what's waiting for them when they get back. We get to the airport. about 2,000 people who were lining up the sides of the airport, cheering the signs, banners, high-fiving, bands playing, motorcycle clubs, military honor guards, police honor guards, fire department honor guards, these guys and ladies go walk through to hear what they wanted to hear back in the 60s which was, welcome home. Thank you for your service. And so I'm privileged to be a part of that, and to be a part of helping a lot of men and women who had that same veterans, same anger that I did when I lived through for years, and be able to put that behind them and realize that that's not, it wasn't their fault, and that's not what should be. So, I'm closing right now. You won't remember it. Like 60 years from now, I told you I don't remember. I didn't remember probably 2 years after. But after the assembly, I didn't remember one thing. I want you to remember not a thing, but I want you to remember a person. Okay? I want you to remember that paper that was in Camp Pendleton. He answered the call of his country, and he did what he was asked to do. He found his purpose in life, and he did it. Now I'm challenge you this. It's good to pursue great things, but you don't have to pursue great things if you find your purpose in life. But when you find your purpose in life, what you do have to do is do it in a great way. And that's what that purpose is. Doing what he could do in a great way. And he was able to do it for thousands of people. So I want to encourage you today, find your purpose. Take the time, find out what you were made for, what you were put on earth to do, and then do it in a great way. And I guarantee you, with God's help, if you do that, you'll get it. Thank you.
Thank you for that inspirational speech.
Now, before the PC closes today, I would like all the veterans just to stand one more time, even if they're the staff or faculty of West Valley High School. Please stand so that we can give you an applause one more time.
Thank you. Today we look at to remind you that in times of loss, we band together as a community and country to show our respect, strength, and unity. Veterans, please who have signed up to have a cadet sport, please wait after we have dismissed the students. Please come up to the front where a cadet will assist you. Students, as you travel to your Armstrong, you're welcome to greet and thank our veterans in attendance, as well as look at the UAV Washington National Guard brought today. You are dismissed to your Armstrong class now.
You guys will have to real quick.
Sign up to talk to the class today, then you are free to go and we are done. But so then we still have we have lunch for you guys. Is that
Hey everyone, listen up real quick. For the veterans that signed up and the cadets that signed up, I'll be calling your names and saying what teachers you'll be going to. Your cadet escort will take you there, and you should be here for the rest of Ram Strong, and we'll have lunch afterwards for you guys. Gary Brown, Cadet Dilworth. Is Gary Brown still here? Raise your hand. No. Gary Brown. Rick Beck. No. Mike Montani.
Mike Montani with Whitfield. Larry Morehouse with. Hold on, Buchanan with Mike Montani. I'm sorry if I said that. Alright, they're done. Larry Morehouse with McDaniel.
Hi, listen up. Larry Morehouse, are you here? Okay, you're going to be linked up with Cadet McDaniel as an escort to Mr. DeLeon's classroom. So we're going to check you off as we get you guys linked up and then you can go. Cadet McDaniel, you know where you're going, right? Mr. DeLeon, classroom. He's right there. Okay. DeLeon. Got it? Okay. Steve Wingmill. You're going to go with Cadet Wells, Mrs. Zeller's class. Math. Okay? Mrs. Zeller. Zeller, Mrs. Zeller. Okay, so Livian June is going to go with DBC to New York Car. We got that one. Ron Schaffer. Ron Schaffer. Ron Schaffer. Ron Schaffer, one more time. Okay, so Cadet Davis is supposed to take Ron Schaffer to the classroom stretch classroom. Anthony Davis. You know where Ron Schaffer is? Ron Schaffer. Okay, so we can take another veteran. Okay, Matthew McKay. Matthew McKay is going to go with Cadet Sunquist to go to Mrs. Padilla's class. Cadet Sunquist. Got it? Right there. Got it? Okay. Jeannie Hunt is going to go with Cadet Day to Mrs. Garcias. Janine Hunt. Do I have it? There she is, right there. Okay, so Cadet Day. Alright, so go to Mrs. Garcia's class. Got it? Okay, so Dave Purcell. Dave Purcell. Dave Purcell. Okay, Cadet Camden, Dave Purcell, you're going to go with Cadet Camden, put your hand up, and you're going to go to Mrs. Durant's classroom. Cadet Dwight Hoff, Dwight Hoff, you're going to go with Cadet Gray. Cadet Gray, raise your hand. Cadet Gray. Dwight Hoff, you're going to go to Mr. Caldwell's class, math. Yeah, there left. Okay, Dwight Hoff, is he here? He's already gone? Okay. You're going to Durant, okay? Devin Hulte, am I saying that right? Devin Hulte? Cadet Klain, you're right there. There you are. Cadet Klain, you're going to take to Mr. Berger's class. Mr. Berger. Got it? Where you at? Okay, here you go. Mr. Fitzpatrick. Where you at? Okay? Right here. You're going to go to Mrs. Rose's class. Cadet Jorgensen, you got it. Okay? Cadet Jorgensen. Right here. Okay. So, you're going to take your dad? Innovation Center? Okay. So let's get another veteran for Cadet, or for Mr. Patrick. Fitzpatrick. Okay, so Cadet Strong, you're going to take Mr. Patrick, and you're going to go to Mrs. Rosen. Doesn't matter. Okay. Bruce Whitmore. Bruce Whitmore. Mr. Kearns, Cadet Kearns. Cadet Kearns, you're going to take him to Mr. Knowles' class. Do we have Bruce here? Whitmore? No? Donnie Cantor. Donnie Cantor. There you are. You're going to go to Mr. Mendoza's class, and we have Cadet Diete. Cadet Diete. Cadet Gray. You're going to take Dwight Hawk. Is Dwight Hawk here? Okay. Is that Cadet here? You're going to take Donnie. Donnie, where you at? You're going to take Donnie to Mr. Mendoza. Go ahead and do that, okay? Mr. Beck, are you here? Mr. Beck? No, Mr. Beck? Joseph May. Joseph May. Joseph May? Not going? Okay. David Fuel. David Fuel. Am I saying that right? David Fuel? No? Okay. Brown's Friends. Brown's Friends. Mrs. Fletcher's class. Cadet Hint. Where's Cadet Hint at? Cadet Hint? Mr. Beck's not here. I don't see him. Okay. Anybody from the Yakima Warriors? Yakima Warriors? Chad Vanover. Chad Vanover. Are you here? No? Mike Ritter. Mike Ritter. No? Rachel D. No? Jeff Randell. John Tipton. I thought I saw John earlier. John Tipton. No? Okay. Canton Stanford. Am I saying that right? Canton Stanford. Glenn Davis. Glenn Davis. Murray Campbell. Murray Campbell. Nick Myers. No Nick Myers. Don Jameson. There you are. Okay, you're going to go to Mr. Wright's class and Carter Nystrom. Cadet Nystrom. Where's Cadet Nystrom? You're going to take him, okay? Lloyd Gabriel. I don't think you made it today. Dwayne Leddick. Am I saying that right? Dwayne Leddick. Lidke? That's you, okay. Okay, so you're going to go to Mrs. Padillas, Padilla, and Cadet Ham. You're going to take him. Upstairs. With the J. Okay, right? Try that one, okay? Don Simmons. Don Simmons. Don Simmons. Siemens. Okay. McKeeler. McKeeler. Levinson. Levinson. Eric Lawyer. Eric Lawyer. Okay. Ismail Flowers. Ismail Flowers. Devin Protein. Ken Aikman. Larry Carrego. Jose. There he is. Larry, I remember you. Okay, so you're going to go to Mr. Walker's class, and you're going to take, okay? All right? You're going to take it, okay? Don't worry about it. Just take it at this point. So take Larry to Mr. Walker. Okay, gentlemen, can you line up right here on this black line right in front of me? And I'm going to assign you veterans, okay? I mean cadets. Okay, we're going to do this real quick. Okay, Cadet Heitman. Yep. Jeez Louise. Okay, so, sir, what's your name is? Curtis? Curtis, right? I want you to take Curtis, okay? This is Cadet Heitman. All right, I need another cadet. Come on Under Cadet Lamb. Sir, what's your name? Bill Davis. You're going to take him to Mr. Knight, the band director, okay? All right? And then, sir, what's your name? Mike Moore, okay, yes, I got your voicemail. Okay, Mike Moore. So you're going to take, I need a volunteer. Okay, Cadet Alexander and her partner. You're going to take Nelson. Miss Nelson? You know what's that? No? Where do you want to take him? Jeannie Martin? Take him to Jeannie Martin. Okay. Alright, so who do I have here? Randy? Randy Frank, okay. I want you to go, who's going to take Randy Frank to Mr. Testament? Go ahead, Assistant 6. Okay. And who do I have here, sir? Michael Kearns. Michael Kearns, okay, so, Cadet Tiedrick, you're going to take him to, Daly. Math teacher, Mrs. Daly, you know what's that? Okay, alright. And then, sir, who do I have here? Huh? Don Primrose? Okay, so, I want you to go to, Mrs. Smith, okay? So, can you take him to Mrs. Smith? S6 assistant. What I said, you're going to Mr. Wright's class. No, I stand corrected. I don't forget what I said. Try Mrs. Testing, okay? Mrs. Testing. Okay, all right. Do you know where that's at? Okay. Okay, go ahead and take her. You guys work together, okay? You're going to take her to Mrs. Testing table. Okay, so, sir, what's your name again? Don, okay, so, Mr. Wright, okay? And then, where did I leave off? Sir? Bill Seafried, okay, do I need a volunteer here? Okay, Bill Seafried. So why don't you go to, Mrs. Holden, okay? Got it? That's right next to my classroom. Okay, who do I have next? Yes. Mike? Oh, yeah, okay, so take Mrs. Fletcher's class right across from mine, okay? All right, sir? Huh? Lee Street, okay, so I've got, Harper, come on over here. Try Mr. Nordstrom, math. Okay, math. Okay. No, I don't. Go with it. Okay. All right. Now, here's the issue. As soon as you get done, we'll have lunch, right, Mrs. Davis? What time does that start at? 10:50? Okay. I got a couple more veterans over